When I was a lad with me mother and dad, I didn't have much fun. I took it into me head one day as away from home I'd run. Now Leeds fair were coming along, it was that very day. I picked up me kite, me stick and me hat, and I buggered off on me way. Like a fine old Yorkshire gentleman, one of the old brigade. Now first I seed what factory, I'd never seed one afore. There were tapes and silks and threads to sell me money a score. Old net and every wheel a strap. The bugger says I at Mester Man, old Ned's a rare strong chap. Like a fine old Yorkshire gentleman, one of the old brigade. Now next I thought I'd go to church, I'd never been in me day. And me just being a stranger there, I didn't know the ways. There was young folk and old folky chairs and boxes sat. This silly old bugger sat next to me, he says take off the hat. Like a fine old Yorkshire gentleman, one of the old brigade. Now a fella gets up in a soda box and he talks about the dead. This silly old bugger sat next to me, he backs him in every word. And he taught that rich were going to heaven and poor were going to hell. I says, sure up, you silly old bugger, you've never been there yourself. Like a fine old Yorkshire gentleman, one of the old brigade. Then he gets up in his soda box and he prays for George the King. And then he says, come on good folk, I think it's time let's sing. I thought that some sang very well and others did grunt and groan, and every man sang what he would, so I sang Darby and Joan. Like a fine old Yorkshire gentleman, one of the old brigade. Now a fella comes round with a box of brass and he hands it all around. And me not being a greedy sort, I never took half a crown. This silly old bugger sat next to me, thought he were going to die. I says, sure up, you silly old bugger, there's plenty left for thee. Like a fine old Yorkshire gentleman, one of the old brigade. Now I went preaching at praying were o'er, and folk were going away. I went up to this preacher chap and I says, is there out to pay? He says, there's nought to pay, me lad, and at that I were right fain. I picked up me kite, me stick, me hat, and I buggered off home again. Like a fine old Yorkshire gentleman, one of the old brigade.
Come all ye good people, a story I'll tell. It's of a rich farmer in Yorkshire did dwell. He had a youthful boy which he hired as a man, all for to do his work, and his name it was John. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. One morning bright early John's master arose. Into John's room he instantly goes. Jack, my dear fellow, drive this cow to the fair, for she is in good order and her we can spare. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. So Jack took the cow and drove her out of the farm. He had not gone far when he met with three men. He had not gone far when he met with three men. And he sold the cow for 9 pounds 10. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. They went to an alehouse all for to get a drink. Those three men paid him right down in a jink. What will I do with my money, landlady, said he. In the lining of your coat I'll sew it, said she, for it's here upon the road you rob it might be. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. A robber in the room sat drinking up his wine, thinking to himself that money shall be mine. Jack took his leave and he started for home. The robber he followed him out of the room. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. The robber overtook him on the highway. How far do you travel, young man, he did say. 3 or 4 miles, as near as I know. And he jumped on behind and away they did go. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. They rode along together till they came to a narrow lane. Deliver up your money, young man, he did say. Deliver up your money without fear or strife, or this very moment I'll take away your life. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. Jack jumped down without fear or doubt. From the lining of his coat he pulled the money out. From the lining of his coat he pulled the money out. And all along the green grass he scattered it about. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. The robber jumped down from off of his horse, but little did he think it would be to his worst. While gathering up the money Jack threw on the grass, Jack jumped on the saddle and he rode away with the horse. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. One of the servants saw Jack coming home. Into the master he instantly ran. Jack, my dear fellow, have you made a swap? Or did my cow turn into a horse? Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. No, my dear master, the truth I'll unfold. I was stopped on the way by a highwayman so bold. While gathering up the money I threw along the grass. To prove myself a man I brought home the horse. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day. When the saddlebags were opened and in them were fold 500 bright guineas in silver and gold, a pair of bright pistols the master did vow. Jack, my dear fellow, you have well sold the cow. Folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day, folly-diddle-dido, folly-dolly-day.